Hey everyone, Sirturmund here again. So I have a little trivia for you. What is the most popular video and deck that we have showcased in our channel? It's not Udyr, it's not TK Raka, it's not Victor Lee Sin, or anything else that you might think of right off the bat. The most popular video in my channel was actually Pirate Aggro, which we released about 2 months ago in early April. I was very surprised when I was looking through my channel and saw that. It seems like not a lot of people are posting showcase games on Pirate Aggro. I don't know why. It's a fun deck and it's really quick to make a video on this because the games go so quick. So today I wanted to showcase that again because it's been about 2 months and kind of refresh the memory. And instead of just playing Pirate Aggro that I showed you before, which was with Miss Fortune and Gangplank and Twisted Fate, we replaced the other champions and just go with Annie. So now it's like Annie now becomes a pirate, right? So it's Pirate Aggro with Annie, where Annie just joins Miss Fortune's ship and they go sailing and blue. You know what it is. So yeah, so today we're just gonna showcase another aggro deck. It's really very similar to what the original Pirate Aggro list was, except that I have two changes here. I'm running triple Annie instead of the one-drop spider. So instead of the precious pet, we're running triple Annie. The other one-drops stay the same: triple Corsair, triple Rearguard, triple Saboteur. Usually really good start if you can get it. Remember, this did get nerfed, so a little bit annoying because now it's vulnerable to so many pinks, but I think it still does pretty well. Then our two drops stay the same with the Malicious Grenadier and Mirai Warden, except that we have a new addition, the Obedient Drakehound. So the Obedient Drakehound is a new 2-drop for Noxus that has quick attack and is immobile. But when one of your allies attack, the Drakehound attacks with it. I'm experimenting with this card, to be honest. I don't know yet if it's actually good or not. The whole idea and the reason why I wanted to play it in this deck is because we're actually also playing Triple Navigator. So this card actually works with Scout. It will actually attack with the Scout unit and it still give you your regular attack afterwards. So you can actually synergize the Obedient Drakehound with the Allied Navigator to push a lot of damage because the opponent has to deal with this card. And the only way that the opponent can deal with this card is with removal, with one of their pings. Because obviously it has quick attack, so it cannot be blocked as effectively. Then because we're now running Twisted Fate, I do like Wand of Century as our 40th card, Triple Misfortune straightforward, Triple Fervor, Triple Decimate as our burn. We already spoke about the Navigator, which can synergize with Misfortune, Drakehound, and also with the Corsair. And then finally triple Sap Spray Fin to be able to always draw into those fervors. So it's like you have 6 fervors in your deck because your sap will always draw into it. And she also pushes a lot of Lucy damage every now and then. It's something that the opponent needs to deal with. So it ends up being a pretty good card. So this is my updated version of what I would call Pirate Aggro. Obviously, you know, there's an argument to be made whether this Twisted Fate is still better than Annie. And the deck really was the only deck that actually received direct nerfs last patch, right? With the Corsair and the Demolitionist both getting nerfed. So just be mindful of that it is a little bit weaker, but I still think it can be very good if you're not running into a lot of Shadow Owl decks. Obviously, this deck is merciful against Shadow Owls, but as you're seeing some of the games today, you can still pull off some sneaky wins depending on the deck that you're going against and how you end up playing your turns. But anyways, yeah. So hopefully for all of you who have watched or found my channel through my previous Pirate Aggro deck, hopefully you can enjoy this one again. And as always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video below. And you can also subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. I'll see you all at the end of the video for some mulligan tips. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Ekko Zilean. Now this deck should do very well against aggro. Should do really, really well versus us. See if we can find a lower curve. This is not bad. Misfortune, Rearguard, Grenadier. It's a nice start. Corsair is also good. I should actually do Rearguard. Okay, I was gonna say I still always do the Rearguard first, right? Because the drop border is not a good blocker for the Rearguard. So I like doing the Rearguard. I guess we could do Rearguard Corsair next turn. That pushes the most damage. Because he still doesn't have any good blockers for this guys, right? Opponent could summon Zilean, but Zilean doesn't actually kill the Rearguards. And anything else that they summon is not gonna be enough. Yeah, the Chronomancer just dies. Obviously, the one thing is that we don't attack with the Corsair, right? Because the Corsair only has 1 HP, so you can just die to the drop border. So we always just go like this, push in at least 1 damage. Opponent could decide to block, but then they lose all their blockers. If they don't block, then they're taking 4. And I'm okay with taking 4. I'm okay with dealing 4 as well. Because then what we can do is Misfortune and then Grenadier plus Marai Warden on turn 4. Assuming that we don't get something better here. Like that. Yeah, Navigator is going to be what we do then. Navigator is better because he also triggers the Corsair on the Scat attack, right? So here we do Misfortune. Opponent is doing Ancient Prep again. Does get the 2nd and 3rd drop border. So he does have plenty of blockers. But the blockers are going to quickly evaporate because of the Misfortune, right? He does suck though that he gets so much value. Oh, that's good. So this is good because neither of these units are going to die to the drop borders, which is the most important part here. That's not because now the drop borders are not good blockers, right? Because they can block, but they're not really healing my units. Yeah, you need to start blocking. And I guess the problem is that he does have, man. He got so many units, right? So he's able to just survive. Eventually summon the Ekko. Having the Fervor is pretty good because it means that we don't have to worry about the Ekko. Still cannot kill any of our units, by the way. And if he cannot kill the Navigator, then we could potentially level up Misfortune next turn. And he's losing his whole board, which makes his Chrono Break worse. And he decided that not to lose the whole board, which is pretty smart. I mean, no reason to lose it. We're gonna start with the Grenadier, and if I do need to, actually, let's start with the Marai Warden. Start with the Marai Warden. Is this a game where we actually level up? Yeah, there we go. So we start with the Marai Warden, I think. I guess the question is here, do I give him... Do I give it to him? Oh, that's a good one. Question here is, do I give him the Time Trick? I guess it's gonna always get the Time Trick, right? So since he's always gonna get the Time Trick, we just block here. And we just summon the Grenadier. I think this is actually gonna be a game where Misfortune levels up. The rare Misfortune level up. The question here is that correct? Is going for the Misfortune level up correct? I think it is, right? He doesn't have a good blocker here. And that was because by doing the Scat attack instead of just open attacking, we get an extra damage from Corsair and Misfortune. And if the opponent's not able to kill Misfortune, which they will need to have a Mystic shot, then we just win the game, right? If opponent tries to block with the Ekko just dies. Yeah, so I think we always go like this. Misfortune is actually probably gonna level this game. And it also gives it the Overwhelm, which is pretty good, right? Let's keep our mana for our Fervor. We attack with everything here, right? Because why not? I guess we get punished by a crystal. If opponent can put Time Trick into the crystal. It's very rare for us to see Misfortune level up in a Pirate Aggro deck. Yeah, so he's looking for the crystal. That was his out. He went for the Hail Mary where he plays the cat and then goes for the crystal.
Real good to see you.
Unfortunately for him, he's also gonna lose his Ekko, right? Like, he's gonna have to have removal here. I guess Quicksand. But Quicksand still means that you have to block with Ekko. You're still taking 4 just from the skills. You could have Rider Negation. Okay, yeah, it doesn't have it. Rider Negation could have been an answer. But if you had Rider Negation, you have to block differently. So there we go. Woo! Level up Misfortune. Very powerful. GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Jayce, Ezreal. So instead of Annie Ezreal, it's going to be Jayce Ezreal. How do I feel about that? I don't think it's gonna be better than Annie Ezreal, right? I feel like there's a reason why Annie Ezreal works. I'm actually gonna mulligan everything and see if I can get triple one drop. We don't get the triple one drop, but we still have the legend rearguard and the saboteur, which is pretty good. Question is, which one do we summon first? Let's go rearguard. Let's go rearguard first. Come on, let me get the one last. There we go. Now we do saboteur. When it could technically have mystic. Ooh, that's not a mystic, that's a boom baboon. So now you have to choose what you get hit by, right? Now you're taking all the way down, or taking 6 damage no matter what. It makes sense to block this guy, especially if the opponent plays static shock or something like that. So let's assume that the opponent plays static shock. Then we kind of get a little bit punished. If it's not static shock, we're okay. It's the financier.
It's an awesome day for progress.
Whew, what a high roll. Now that's a high roll right there. I'm always willing to block here, by the way, because trading this girl is better than trading any of our saboteurs. We can open, but I feel like the open is just gonna lose to so many things that I feel like I'd rather develop. I feel like the open is not correct. I guess we lose to static, right? By developing. Yeah, so we lose to the static. I think we always go like this and force the opponent to have to spend a mystic here if they want to block this 3 damage. Oh, okay, so they go mystic here. So yeah, so we end up getting completely punished by doing this because now we lost. We only pushed 2 damage, so now the opponent has to have. Now we need to top deck another decimate. I guess another fervor also does it because this girl probably gets to attack again. Opponent could have the challenger here, in which case we always just do the sentry to stop the challenger from killing us. And that's why the sentry is pretty good. Now we're able to go wide, right? So now opponent's in a similar spot again. What I want to do, I need to open attack. So now I need to definitely open attack because we don't want to lose to a shock blast, right? Oh wow, opponent's digging. That's huge for us. So shock blast would have been really scary, which he could easily have from a second Jayce. So I think that's why I think the open attack was correct.
Step aside.
He also puts the Jayce at 1 HP, so that's not bad. If opponent has nothing else here, they lose. There's no way he didn't get anything, right? From that card. Oh wow. He got exactly what he needed. That's perfect. That's literally perfect, right? Because he gives him the heal. So it keeps him at 8. So now it's a matter of whether I draw the decimate or not. Gets a draw out of it as well from the Unto. Oh well, no, the Unto Dust was created by that thing. Okay, so he got 2 Nightfall cards. The craziest thing is that he still dies to a second decimate, right? Still dies to the second decimate. Still dies to a fervor. Fervor plus Corsair. I mean, he should never tap out of the mana to be able to deal with the Corsair. So now I need to get what? Misfortune. Second Corsair. Because any unit's not gonna matter. Opponent should never tap out of mana. Or if they tap out of mana, they cannot attack. So I guess the Fervor is risky anyways, right? Because the Fervor loses to a Mystic Shot or anything like that. Yeah, so smartly he doesn't spend it. Huh. Let's do the Corsair first. I like the Corsair first. Oh. Okay. We get the damage. It's a lot harder for the opponent to be able to kill Misfortune than it is for them to be able to kill the Corsair. The question is, do we have to go for it? This is 4, 6, 7, 8. We have to go for it, right? Because anything else, the opponent is able to just present lethal whenever they want to. They discard at Scorched Earth, which, yeah, it's not going to be useful for you. We have to do it now. So we have to do it now so that we don't lose to the flock. If the opponent has the flock, I don't want to lose to it. So it's going to be a matter of the opponent having their outs here. And do they have it? I think they do, based on the fact that it's triggering here. Yeah, so there you go. Oh, that doesn't work. He actually doesn't have it. That's why I needed to do the fervor as soon as he committed the paralyzing bite. He got greedy by letting that Corsair attack. So yeah, GG's. Cannot get greedy like that, especially when you're 4 HP, and you know that we play fervors in our deck. So yeah. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Trundle Caitlyn. So this is Timelines. Timelines Pillar, which is going to be very, very difficult for us. So the reason that this matchup is going to be very difficult for us is because the opponent's going to have a ton of removal. Oh, look at that. I forget to turn off my Twitch notifications when I'm recording, so you guys got to see little follower there. Okay, so we can do rear guard. The demolition is... I would love to get another 1-drop. Wow, he discarded the timelines. That means they have a second timelines in their hand? Okay. It's always Annie then, right? I was gonna do the... yeah, there we go. Perfect. Yeah, it's always Annie here. There's no question about it. It's always gonna be Annie. My question here is, do I actually need to attack? And I don't think I do. Because we have Misfortune, I actually think we don't attack. Because I don't want to give him the free trade with the Senate Urchin. When we have the Misfortune on the field, opponent will not be able to block with the Senate Urchin, which is worth more than us attacking right now. Obviously, the opponent could just block with the Senate Urchin right now, but then that means that they're also losing the blocker for free, which is not good for them. So that's why he ended up not blocking. So yeah, so we'll do the Misfortune. Obviously, what we need to be careful about is like get it sided or something like that. Okay, yeah, so then we just go like this. We just go like this and we just open attack, right? Or if he gives us this, I'm also willing to take this. So I'm also willing to take this. Now, it does put us vulnerable to a flash bomb. But the reason that I'm willing to take this is because it means that the opponent has... will not be able to actually do anything to us. And I'm gonna go all in. I'm gonna go wide. I know like opponent could technically have like a way to kill this. Like they could have like a static shock, I guess. Or like mystic shot right here. But it's always better for them to mystic shot this guy than it is to mystic shot Misfortune. He's also... Wow. I'm okay with this. I guess a thermal would be annoying. Thermal will be annoying, but I think we always do the Drakehound. If the opponent does the thermal here, then they get punished by the Drakehound. Yeah. Okay, so he did it that way because he wanted to be able to get the second Senate Urchin. So a little bit unfortunate. We're going to have to end up sacrificing our board, but I think that's okay. The question here is, do we give him the Annie? Do we give the opponent the Annie? We have a second Annie in our hand, right? I think we do. I think we attack with everything. I think if the opponent wants to block the Annie here to kill her, I think that's okay with us, right? Opponent always blocks like this, and then he blocks Annie right here, and we still get to push sets. Problem here is that the flash bombs, right? The flash bombs are just gonna blow us out. So maybe it actually was not correct to block with Annie, to attack with Annie. Because opponent's probably never blocking this guy anyways, right? Yeah, actually, it wasn't correct to attack with Annie. Because opponent's never blocking the Drakehound. So it's a little bit trolly for us to have done that. It's always Sap first to thin out our deck. Annie second, Misfortune third, opponent's at 6 mana. I think we just have to stay going wide. We have 6 flash bombs. Very likely that one of them triggers. We just gotta hope that it doesn't hit the Hound. Doesn't hit in it. We got the Misfortune here. Opponent doesn't have a good blocker with Caitlyn. We have the Fervor against a second. Yeah, we have the burn that we need. This should be game, right? It should be game. We're wide enough. We have the burn with the decimate. Opponent loses both their blockers here for free, right?
Turning yourself in?
We push 2. That's gonna be 7. I guess opponent could have the Mystic here to prevent the 2 damage. In which case, yeah, so the Mystic here. In which case, are we ever killing the Trundle? Are we ever doing this? We have 6 flash bombs in our deck. With 6 flash bombs, I think we're always losing. But that Trundle on the field is also another blocker that we have to worry about. I think we just go face, right? We just go face because if we top deck another Fervor, another Sap, or another Decimate, we win. Also, Sap is lethal because Sap is gonna have 2 attack, right? So Sap is gonna be lethal next turn. We still 3 wide. If this Sap doesn't, the opponent doesn't have enough to do the Ice Pillar yet. Oh, okay. We can always block with the Demolitionist. Because we also don't want to die to the burn, right? Opponent could have Bury Nice. So because opponent could have Bury Nice, I cannot play my units until the opponent taps out of the mana. Okay? Wasn't Bury Nice, but it was the Ice Quake, which is kind of unfortunate. I think we have to do it. Ah! We get punished, right? We had to do it because... Maybe not. Maybe because of the flash one, we actually didn't have to do it. Okay, well, I'm okay that I did it now. This is not bad. Opponent doesn't have a lot of blockers. Opponent could have the Bury Nice now, though. Yeah, so they had the Bury Nice. So they always had the Bury Nice, which means that we were always going to lose there. So now we have to top deck another Decimate for us to win. Because opponent's going to have the Overwhelm, and we don't have the unit. And that's why I didn't want to summon the Naturalist. Wow, we actually top decked the Fervor. If we actually top decked the Fervor, was I ever supposed to attack first? I think I actually probably was. I think I actually was supposed to attack first with the no, because I'm only pushing 1, right? But we played around very nice last turn, and then we didn't play around it this turn, so yeah. GG's. It's tough, right? Because if we... The Trundle Ice Pillar is what killed us, right? Because if the opponent very nice last turn, we can just we can like summon... I guess it would have been the same way, right? Yeah, we ended up in the same way, but the opponent would have needed to have double very nice, so yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going against Ezreal Caitlyn. It's unfortunate because like that's why I'm not sure about the Drakehound, right? Like this type of matchups are the reason why I'm unsure about the Drakehound. Because the opponent has so many ways to remove it that it makes it really awkward finding a time to play it. Unfortunately here we lose to a Thermo. Opponent doesn't have it. That's good for us. So that we got to push 3 damage for free. That's pretty good. We do the Mirai Warden, then we do the Misfortune.
Nice to meet you.
I like the Mirai. Even if the opponent has a Static Shock, I think I still like the Mirai. Okay, missed it. Opponent could still have Static Shock next turn, so but I think we always just do the Misfortune, right? Because if the opponent has a Static Shock, the open attack is always going to fail anyways. By having Misfortune, opponent shouldn't have any good blockers here. Yeah, just Calling Strike. So that means that we still get to push 4 damage, which would have been the same as if we open attack. So now opponent is still at 13. This is 1. I guess the awkward part here is another Mystic, right? If the opponent has a second Mystic, I think I'm okay with that. So if the opponent has a second Mystic, I'm okay with that. But this is the best time to do this. Just so that we're, not dying to like a random stuff. The problem here is that now we lose to a block. I think we just go wide. We just go super wide, and the opponent should have a way to deal with this unless they get a static shock. So Flock static shock gives him an out. We have double Fervor to be able to finish him off, but the Fervor can be vulnerable to the opponent's having removal, right? So that's what we gotta be careful of. Oh wow, that's huge. So that means that he's digging. He's digging for an answer. He cannot do both static shock and Flock anymore. So this is gonna be able to push some damage potentially. Oh wow. So this is the problem here, right? We have one last Fervor. But we can never use it until the opponent taps out of answer. And the problem here is that actually not only that, but the Flash Bomb also kills our units. So I think we actually lose the game. Why Thermo now? I'm guessing he's trying to have Ezreal leveled up, I guess. That's a good draw. That's a very good draw. Why do we Fervor now? Why did we force the removal right now? This is gonna force a Mystic Shot or a second Caitlyn. Yeah, there we go. I like forcing the removal right now. Because now what we can do is that we can actually threaten lethal with the sap. Right? Because this is gonna push him down to 1. The sap will always draw us into our last Fervor. And then we will go from there. Like the sap always draws us into our last Fervor. This way we don't have to worry about the Flash Bombs. Like the Flash Bombs can do whatever they want. Opponent will need to have Ezreal. And Ezreal is not even enough anymore because of the Misfortune. I guess if we play Misfortune, we do tap out of Fervor though, right? Yeah, so he has to go for it, right? So he has to go for the removal. But the moment that he goes for the removal, we just Fervor and win the game. And we don't Fervor now. Now we just let it go, and we just play Misfortune, because opponent's at 1 HP. But with 2 mana, opponent should have any way to deal with this Misfortune. So the fact that he had to commit the Tribe means that he completely tapped out of anything else. I'm still confused why the opponent did the Fervor last turn. By us not Fervoring, why the opponent did the Thermogenic Beam 2 turns ago. Like, they could have easily kept that in their hand, right? Oh, well, I guess... No, wait, what? Yeah, wasn't the Tribing the one that he got from the Archivist? So yeah, that's probably why. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Darkness. Ooh. I think this is Doom. Anytime you go against Shadow Owls, it's almost like 100% Doom, because they always have so many ways to, like, Pokestick, Bile Feast, right? Like, they have so many pings. So many pings. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this many Shadow Owl decks today. So I'm actually very surprised, because Shadow Owls hasn't been... I guess that's a lie, right? Shadow Owls, Noxus have been pretty strong, like Heimer Jayce. Obviously, Biego, Noxus. So I guess it's a little bit of a lie. You know what? Let's force the Battle Piece or the Pokestick out of him right now. If he has it, he has it. If he doesn't have it, then we get to push 4 damage with this. Because even if he blocks the Saboteur, this is still getting damage too, unless he has Group Shot. Okay, doesn't play Group Shot. That's pretty good for us. We can stun his blocker next turn. If we need to. Yeah, like we can stun the Acolyte next turn. Wow. I know why he's doing it this way, because by doing it this way, it means that we have to, we have to have like another unit before we can do the Drakehound. Because remember, the Drakehound cannot attack by himself. The Drakehound needs another unit to be able to attack. So I think I'm going to stick with my original plan of just doing the Sentry. I'm going to stick with my original plan of doing the Sentry. This is going to put him in an awkward spot. We always have to do the sentry. We can't do the second Drakehound, because if the opponent is able to kill the Grenadier, which we know he has the access to with the darkness, he's able to just win the game like that. Because we will never be able to attack with the Drakehounds. So now here we stun his blocker. Opponent could have the Battle Feast. Oh, the Piercing Darkness. That sucks, but we still need to push 6, right? And that also tells us that the opponent has no Poke Stick and no Battle Feast. So no Poke Stick, no Battle Feast means that we can start setting up the rest of our stuff. I did wish I had Fervor for that, though. That's a little bit unfortunate that we didn't have the Fervor there. Let's do the Drakehound, and let's do the Decimate here. Yeah, let's do the Drakehound and do the Decimate. We're gonna have 6, so we can actually draw enough for the Sap into the Fervor. We have 2 units that can attack. One goes down to 9 HP. Has the Darkness. Oh my goodness, we're gonna draw nothing from the last Sap, by the way, because we only played 3 Fervors. Opponent's at 6 mana. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. In which case, I think we just do it like this, right? I'm surprised he didn't use his Darkness. It's because he knows we have the Fervor, right? So he doesn't use his Darkness because he knows we have the Fervor. Because anytime he tries to use this Darkness, I'm just gonna Fervor him, right? I want to do it right now. So I want to do it right now for a couple reasons. Because we have a second Fervor in our hand. And we can join to the third one. The problem here is that the opponent gets another Darkness. If the opponent also has a second Piercing Darkness, then that's a problem. Let's pass. Opponent always wants to do the Darkness here, right? Just be mana efficient, yeah. There we go. Let's do the last Sap, or well, the second Sap. That gives us the Fervor, also thinks our deck out. 2, 4, 7. I think that's correct. I think it's correct to go wide. I think it's always correct to go wide. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the Sap. He should have done this when he had the chance before. So now we can do the Sap. A Whale is a problem. Is a Sap? Okay. Alright, well, we ended up winning. That means that the opponent had nothing else, right? They must have top decked a Battle Feast not that long ago. Because remember that one turn where the opponent just didn't do a Battle Feast at all? So that means they didn't have the other outs. The fact that we were able to draw all the Fervors that we needed, the funny thing is that I don't know why they're putting emoted, because they knew we had a Fervor in our hand. The Souls get the Sap, so yeah. Somehow we pulled it through, but that matchup is not easy whatsoever. So yeah, GG's. So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Nautilus. Nautilus, Maokai Deep. Oh, they have so many heals that I don't think we're ever really going to be able to kill them. Oh man, I like the Drakehound, but like against Battle Feast, it's too unfortunate. Against Battle Feast, it's too unfortunate. Or even so they have Battle Feast. A lot of them don't run Battle Feast though, so it's fine. But sometimes some of them do run well. Some of them also run. Obviously, all of them are running the new Deep Spell Undergrowth that heals them for 2 and drains 2. So they have a lot of heals. I guess that's what I'm trying to get at. I wonder if he does it right now. Yeah, because it doesn't matter if he does it after or before, because regardless, he's saving the 2 damage, right? So that's the Undergrowth, which is bad for us. Now he did discard Vengeance. Vengeance doesn't really matter to us though, right? We can use this to stop a Whale. Sorry, to stop another undergrowth, which is not bad. Wow. I think I'd rather go wide. If the opponent has a well, they have a well. I think I'm gonna just go wide. I'm gonna go wide right here with the Marai Warden and the Demolitionist. Especially since we have the target for the Demolitionist right now. And if the opponent has an answer for all of this, then they have it. Obviously, they tapped out a well. They still have 3 mana though, so it could be Battle Feast. So they do. So he is playing Battle Feast, which makes sense. You know, gotta play around all the anti-gym decks coming around. He blocks literally everything. We only get to push 2 damage, and we only have 7 damage in our hand. Now, opponent already did an Undergrowth and already did the Battle Feast, so maybe we have a chance. But it's looking very doomed. This little fearsome guy actually could push that additional damage that we need every turn. So he's actually decent. Opponent gets the Maokai. He should always just kill the Sinister Portal then. Which is what I'm guessing he's... Ooh, wow, wait, no. You didn't kill it. We always do Corsair here, right? No reason not to. It's an additional damage that we do. Oh, yeah, they also play that. They also play that, which gives them even more heal. So, at this point, it doesn't really matter, right? Which way we go about it. I guess we could go wide, right? We could go wide and take quite a bit of damage here from the opponent. We might have to Fervor right now, I guess. Yeah, we always have to Fervor this. We always have to Fervor this because he's saving 1 damage. No reason not to. I mean, you know, like... This is, like, we're able to prevent 1 heal, which is very important for us to have a chance. Here, no matter what we do, we're not going to be pushing any damage because even the Fearsome gets blocked. So I guess we just go like this and just hope for the best. Opponent can just go deep next turn because this is going to go down 2. So they're going to be able to heal for another 3. I guess our best course of action here is to actually try to kill the Sea Scarabs right now, right? So we have to threaten the Sea Scarabs right now. Guess so. Before the opponent is able to go deep and able to heal them up. Yeah, so... The opponent needs to block. Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, you need to block. But see, this way we were able to at least push 1 damage, which we didn't have before. Unfortunately for us, and that's the second well, by the way. Unfortunately for us, the Mega Tusk heals in 3. So opponent's gonna be at 9. This is only 4, so we need to have more burn. We need to draw another Decimate plus something else. And that's not the something else that we need. Okay, well, yeah, that's good. I can't go around double Mega Tusk, so yeah, GG's. I mean, it is how it is. You know, that's the nature of aggro, right? So in this matchup, we'll be going up against Swain, Annie, Shadow Isles. The Shadow Isles part is the scary part, because then that means that this deck that we're going against is most likely a control deck. And if it is a control deck, then this is going to be vulnerable to Battle Feast. Let's see if we can find an early curve that doesn't include things that die to Battle Feast, the Drakehound, the Corsair, too many things. Too many things that die to Battle Feast or Gohar for us to ever feel comfortable actually having a chance in this matchup. Because the opponent should probably have all the Shadow Isles lifesteal stuff, right? So I guess what we can do is that we can play Misfortune instead. That sounds reasonable to me. Because Battle Feast enables him to get a blocker. And I don't think I want the opponent to do that, right? So now the opponent is forced to have to do something like a Grasp. If they have it, well, it's not enough, right? Oh, okay. I think I'm okay attacking. If I lose the Misfortune, I'm okay with that. This is not a scouts, right? So don't be afraid to attack with misfortune. He has some Unspeakable Horror, which is not enough to kill me. I guess he did it just to get the value from this, which I guess makes sense. He also advances his Raven Bloom Conservatory. Now I don't want to open myself up to well, unless if the opponent develops something here. Oh wow, okay, so now we can do the course. Actually, we're gonna do the Saboteur. Yeah, so we're gonna do the Saboteur, and what we're gonna do is that we're gonna level up Annie right away on the stack. So by us being able to again, I'm too scared of whale, right? So let's say we have a whale. If we have a whale, opponent's always able to do it during our attack anyways, right? So if the opponent does have a whale, they're always able to do it anyways. The problem is that he can only kill the Corsair and nothing else. If we develop any of our 1 health units, they could potentially just die to the whale. Developing this doesn't matter because the opponent can just wait. The Drakehound is a little bit unfortunate. The Sentry is really good. I think we just go like this. I think we just go ahead and level the Annie. Let's just go ahead and level the Annie. This is also presenting lethal. So let's just level up the Annie. That way we play around a well. If opponent has a well right here, they can heal 3. But okay, looks like they have it. So there you go. Woo, there you go. That was close. Again, I'm playing against Shadow Owls, and it's also a control deck, so I always have to be careful about that well. And unfortunately, the rest of my hand had too many 1 health units for us to not play around this. So yeah, GG's. Hey, welcome back everybody. Hope you enjoyed those games. I had a lot of fun with this deck. Again, barely got to showcase the Drakehound because really haven't seen it be that impactful, and we barely drew it in the games that we played. But I'm still a little iffy about it. I just, you know, it's just too vulnerable to stuff like Battle Feast, Pokestick, Make It Rain, Mystic Shot, everything out there in the world, right? I feel like this current meta has a lot of removal, like a lot of removal. Think of like all the top decks, right? They all run some sort of like AoE or direct removal. So it can be a little bit difficult for Pirate Aggro to really shine how it needs to, right? So a little bit unfortunate. In terms of the mulligan, it's pretty easy, man. Just keep all your 1-drops. Just keep your 1-drops, and that's how you start. You start with your 1-drop and just pushing a ton of damage to the opponent, especially if you can get 3 1-drops on turn 2, because that way you can just go super wide and attack the opponent. And then you hopefully draw into your burn later on, draw into stuff like Misfortune Navigator later on, etc. When you actually need it to be able to push the rest of the damage. Really, that's as simple as it gets. So yeah, again, as always, if you like the content, please make sure to like the video below and subscribe to us. We post LOR videos every single day. You can also find us on Twitch at Sirturmund, where we stream 3 to 4 times a week. A little bit less recently because I've been pretty busy. And I've been kind of, doing other stuff in my free time. But I promise, we're still trying to stream on Twitch whenever we can. It can just be a little bit tough because usually Twitch streams take a little bit longer time. You can also find us on Discord and Twitter. The links to those are both in the description below. And again, thank you so much for all your support. Thank you for watching. I'll see you all again tomorrow for potentially some Heimer Jayce gameplay.